All right. You know what time it is? Yeah. It's discussions from the den.
You better know it.
What's going on?
Ain't nothing. What's up?
It's another show. We're glad you guys are with us. It is
Monday.
Dang, can I get it out? I was trying to build this. I was going somewhere with
We're
that.
back.
It is episode 6
Yep.
of Discussions from the Den. We're here every
Monday.
at
9 p.m.
Here we are. We're going to try to work in agreement because we had a few altercations before we started because somebody came in here with the spirit on them, but we believe God. We had deliverance service.
Ready.
What's going on, family? Listen, y'all already know you're too quiet in the comments, so we need you to get in those comments and rep your city, rep where you're watching from tonight. We need to know where you are. This is not the show to sit back and just relax. We want you guys to be interactive. So let us know. Let them comments start coming in and rep your city.
Hey.
Rep your city.
Hey.
Rep your city. Hey.
I can't say what I want to say.
Is Philly in the house?
Don't start your stuff.
Where Brooklyn at? Hey, there we go. We got DC in the house.
What up, Twan?
There y'all are. I was getting nervous for a minute. Y'all was too quiet on us. Hey, come on. Let us know where you're watching from. We got Drexel Hill, PA. Donna Wilson is in the comments.
Hey,
DC. Where's Philly at, though? I'm trying to say.
DMV heavy in here tonight.
Heavy. DMV. We got Fayetteville, North Carolina. We got Baltimore in the house. All right, I'm feeling some type of way because I don't see Philly or Jersey up in here. Hey, but we want you to.
It's Maryland.
Yeah. It must be the DMV
Maryland,
show tonight. Hey, Rena Berry. Oh my God, Upper Marlboro. What is going on? What is going on?
Bro?
Bahamas. We got now I feel better because we got Rika from the Bahamas.
What's up, Rika?
That's a Hope City member right there.
Come on.
Is it?
I don't know what the rest of them, but they will come on in here.
Jersey.
Here we go.
ATL.
Here's my people.
There we go.
Jocelyn
There we
Mumford,
go.
ATL Candy. That's
Let's
another
go.
mentee right there. Is
There
in the
we
comments.
go.
I see them here. They come
Rep
in waking
your
up.
city.
You know, Mother English. That's right. Baltimore. Hey.
What's going on? You know where it is. This is the place where we have really learned how to connect fun, family, and faith.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All in one. And we've got, I got to tell you, tonight's show.
What up?
It's going to be a bang.
Just about to be spicy.
Listen,
Go
I
ahead.
know I love a good spice.
if you're on the brink and you're unsure about your relationship, you might
might
want
wanna
to go in another
exit.
room.
You might, yeah.
Because tonight
Yeah.
we got some questions that we need answered.
Lock the door, put the kids to bed. We talking tonight. Jersey in the house, Susan Matthews. That's another HC member right there. I saw you said mom, and that's I haven't even met her personally, I don't think, but Mother English has been riding with us since episode 1.
She supports her pastor, whatever I do.
Hey,
if I told her I was standing on the corner every day, she'd be right out there with me.
Yeah.
Every day.
Donna Wilson is in the comments from Philly. We see Philly in the house. Rep your city. Come on, if you're just watching. Now, you know what we need you to do. We need you because we're still under our offering budget. We haven't reached our goal.
So we haven't reached our goal.
What we need to do, Pastor?
If we can just get everyone to share this with 5 more people.
5 more.
I said 5.
I said 5 more.
More people.
Come on, I'm with you. I'm riding with you.
We'll be where we need to be.
What? Watch your voice. I hear something.
Now. Go and share this life.
Yes, sir.
I'm giving you 30 seconds.
Yes, sir.
To share
Yes,
this
sir.
life.
Come on, preacher.
And I promise you, you share this life. I thought I was preaching.
I was the organ. We don't have an organ, so
I can't do that. I
Dang,
can't do that. That's showing off. I can't do that.
I'm sorry. No, go. You was
He
going.
just got an organ in here while you. He just got one in here while you.
Yeah, look at that. Go share it, y'all. No, that was actually.
I actually have someone now, and I'm being serious now.
Yeah.
I actually have my minister of music is actually showing me and teaching me
I heard
how to like really breathe when I'm preaching and really like.
I heard it.
Yeah,
I heard it.
Really
I'm excited about your future.
Shout out to T. She should know.
Nikki Cooper from Philly is in the house.
That's my sister.
from Philly is in the house. Hey. I see Antoine Fletcher. I believe that's ATL is in the house as well. Sabrina Johnson is in the comments. DC. And Sabrina, shout out to you. She was on the media gathering this weekend too.
She was.
A little bit feedback.
She's another one. Supports her pastor.
Definitely. 28 on YouTube and Facebook. But guess what? It's not enough. We need y'all to share. We need you to share. We're talking tonight all kinds of relationship stuff. Some pretty. I think you guys are going. If we know our discussions, family.
I think we figured our audience out.
Oh yeah. We got something for you tonight.
They like to have tough conversations,
and they love a good spice.
We're gonna ask questions tonight. Like, is it okay to have a best friend of the same sex or opposite
sex?
And does your significant other have the ability to say they like them or not? What do you do?
Let's talk about
it. You look like you had a lot of thoughts for me. You look like you got stuck for a minute.
I think another question is,
spicy.
What do you do
when you're done all you can know?
When Donnie says stand. We want to know, can you get up if your kids don't like?
If they say, Mama, I don't like him. Daddy, I don't like her.
What you gonna do?
Her weave is bad. I don't like her. She can't cook. I don't like her. We gotta eat.
She can't cook. Her weave.
Lace front is flaking in the front. I don't like her. Hey, kids say the darndest thing.
They say she ain't got a ponytail. She got a tail.
You know what? I'm done.
Oh God.
Let's get into it tonight. But first of all, you know what it is? It's the weekend rewind. And first of all, we had a power pack weekend. We did a lot. We did a lot. Shout out, we started out the weekend supporting Natasha Fagans, and she had the Bridge Movement. Heard phenomenal preaching from
Bishop
Brandon Jacobs. Killed us. Yep. So we enjoyed him. And then let's see, Saturday night, shout out to James Judah Rogers, who had the Oldies But Goodies concert. Had the ability to be with him. It was packed. Had the ability to be with him. We did a little singing. Had a chance to sing behind the Kim Burrell.
You sure did.
Excited about that. Did she correct you? I was like, did she correct you?
What you do? Wait, one more time.
Yeah, my good singing. I was anointed for it.
All the runs.
So that was my weekend. And yesterday, just spent some time trying to, as you see, we're testing out new sceneries here in the studio. So what you do, Lady T?
I actually had a really action-packed weekend too. Friday, I did a real impromptu trip to Rehoboth Beach with one of my girlfriends because she needed a quick getaway. So you know, I had to make sure she was good.
How was that?
It was actually cool. It was real laid back. So we went there overnight, stayed one night, came back. And my good girlfriend, Nikki, she's on here now.
Hey, Nikki.
She had a Juneteenth cookout. When I say it was lit, y'all.
Yes.
Lit.
Yeah.
Really?
It was really lit. We had a really good time. And shout out to Coop's Kitchen. She has her own little catering business too. Her and her husband are doing really well with that as well. We might have to get them on here too, because they cook some good food.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday, you know, it was Father's Day, so I went to see my grandfather. You know, spent some time over there with him. Yeah. OG, the love of my life. Love that man.
Sunday was major for me.
What you do?
The church had a big surprise. They had been holding for a month. So
wow.
You guys know I pastor in Baltimore, so my family is up here, and so for some reason Sunday I just couldn't get myself together. I was late. I'm never late. So I was late Sunday, and I go in the office. I go to sit down, and they're like, "Come back in the office." I'm like, "What is going on? This is weird." I already feel off, knocked off. I come back out, and it's nothing for people to be sitting in my direction, but me not paying attention. I look over, my parents are there.
Wow.
My brother's there.
Wow.
My sister-in-law and my nephew.
Wow.
And it was like a moment where I really needed my family.
Yeah.
You didn't even realize
it was such an emotional moment. So it was really good to see my mom.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. And happy Father's Day to you, bro.
I appreciate
an amazing father.
Yes, happy Father's Day to both of y'all.
I'm a spiritual father.
But you're a father, so happy Father's Day.
Okay, thank you. But I'm telling you, I wanna say it publicly that you are a great example of a father.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, especially to have a daughter who needs that. She'll never have to go anywhere. Yeah. But she'll never have to wonder what love looks like, right? And find it. So we commend you for that. We commend you for that. Yeah. It's Discussions from the Den. We are here every
Monday
at 9 p.m.
And so listen, I see the numbers going up. We're at 30. We need y'all to share it on your timeline because we're getting into the nightcap real soon. But before we do that, Lady T, as usual,
Yes, y'all. So you know it's Lady T, and y'all know I love to come to you with the latest gossip, the latest trends. What are we talking about? What's happening around us? So as of this past weekend, Juneteenth has now become a federal national holiday.
Wow.
Now here's the thing. However, there has been some discussions around how significant is this? Like, while there is some things to celebrate, of course, people question if this is a form of symbolism without progress, right? If it's like a gaslighting type thing where we're recognizing it as a national holiday without passing necessary legislations that protect and advance Black people. So I really want to know your thoughts, guys. Comment in, go in the comments, and guys, let me know what you think. I thought this was really good. And I found it really interesting that somebody said this was a form of gaslighting where, we look at the Asians and all that was happening to them.
Right.
Legislation was passed immediately.
Right.
But things have not been moving, especially around police reform and things. So I wonder what's your thoughts? Like, yes, Juneteenth, absolutely.
Yeah.
But is this something to celebrate while still ignoring the fact that there are some legislative things that need to happen for us?
I mean, I think the fact that it is being acknowledged now, and there's some progress towards it.
Yeah.
It's getting better. I know for me coming up, this wasn't a major thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was always the 4th of July. And so now you see with Juneteenth coming up, it's like our day. Like this is our day. It's becoming more popular. People are celebrating.
It was
more.
Such a vibe that day.
I had never seen, I felt like I was at everybody cookout.
Yeah.
You just look on the timeline. I mean, people was in the middle of the street, just like, hey, it's our day. So
we had a whole
I think it's a good situation. Yeah. Well, y'all need to get a permit. But go ahead. But it's all right.
That was good.
We're gonna let y'all slide.
The cops rolled past and kept it pushing.
They want no trouble.
It's a holiday.
They unified the day, bro.
Listen, y'all must be Juneteenth out, because what we need y'all to get these comments popping. We need to get your feedback, especially when we get into this topic tonight.
I think they waiting for the relationship situation.
Yeah, that's getting ready.
All right, well, moving on to the next topic. Kevin Hart joined Will Smith at the Red Table Talk. I love Red Table Talk. They have really good conversations. The celebration for Father's Day to discuss their bringing, how they were brought up in their relationships with their fathers, but also spoke very candidly about their experience of being fathers. And then one of the things that I can't hear myself.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
One of the things that Kevin Hart was talking about was the conversation he had to have with his daughter around the infidelity that he had within his marriages. And she was speaking about how it really affected her emotionally and even changed how she looked at him as a father.
Wow.
So he said like that was something that really struck a chord for him, because while he had acknowledged a lot of his faults within his infidelity of his marriages, hearing that from his daughter gave him a whole different feel. But what I loved about it was that he was really having very candid, clear conversations with her, and that they're rebuilding that relationship now.
That's amazing.
Dope.
Amazing.
32 of you are watching with us tonight, and we want to get your feedback on what we're getting ready to talk about soon. Now, do you want to do some shoe cam tonight? I know we're a little ill prepared.
Yeah, man, I got you.
Okay,
don't worry about it. I had the Jordan 9 red and white baby for y'all tonight. I just put that right there. Y'all see that right there? That's the baby tonight. That's the baby that's under the table.
Hey, a little shoe cam for y'all tonight.
You like that, Reen? Reen, I got you.
Shout out to Shireen Tate. Our assistant producer is rocking with us behind the scenes. We're moving closer to the nightcap tonight, which is really going to be
they real quiet in these comments.
Real quiet. I'm not used to it. I think it's Juneteenth out. What's going on? Where y'all at?
Juneteenth hangover. Where y'all?
I feel neglected because they usually be going ham by now.
Not Juneteenth hangover. All right, so listen, we're gonna do a new segment tonight called "What Would You Do?"
I'm nervous.
What would you do? We're gonna drop that in. We played culture tags for the last 2 weeks, but we're gonna do another one that's called "What Would You Do?" And tonight we're talking about a story about a waitress. Actually, not too far from here, right in Turnersville, New Jersey, about 30 minutes from here. Was serving a table of 5 people, 5 individuals, our people, 5 individuals.
Was she not?
$70. I don't know if she was or not. That's a good question. $70 bill. They left without paying. She then goes out after them to say, hey, you didn't pay. And they don't just say, oh, whatever. They kidnap her. Put her in. This is a true story.
Wait, it's not funny, but
like, oh, you want money? Oh, okay. They kidnapped her, assaulted her, and then dropped her off like down the highway, and she had to walk back. So the question is, what would you do if you were the waitress? Yeah. This happened right in Turnersville this weekend.
So I think they have law enforcement for a reason.
Yeah.
If $70 was that important, and I get it, like that's a job.
You kidnap and assault somebody over $70, bro.
I mean,
you could just walk away.
You're chasing somebody for $70.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but think about it.
That's like
Yeah. And I mean, think about it.
But what I'm saying, like she got kidnapped. Like,
so you wouldn't chase for your money? Preachers do it all the time. No, I'm just kidding. You got my money.
Did the check clear?
Bless you.
Did they have an envelope for me?
Oh.
Y'all know how we do. Y'all know how we do. Just a little. Oh, because they ain't leaving till they get that money now.
Did somebody see you?
Yeah.
That went so left, so quick. I wasn't prepared for that. So let's move on.
Yes, Candy. They kidnapped her, abducted her, put them in their truck, assaulted her over $70. So the question is,
That's wild.
What would you do? Would you have gone after them if you were that waitress?
I don't think it's $70. I don't think it's worth it. And I get she gets paid off of tips and whatever else, and I'm sure to some degree she might be held accountable. She might not be.
Well, I don't think she should. I mean,
no,
but I don't know
I
if
think
it's like
haven't done that type of work.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't control those type of things.
Mm-hmm.
They like to say that it's your fault, but ultimately it's not.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, they hold y'all accountable, right?
They don't.
You know.
They're irritated because.
Oh, you mean held accountable for the?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
No,
maybe she went because maybe she felt like
you're
she
not necessarily held accountable. They're going to be irritated because that comes out of their money.
True.
But no, I personally have been in those type of situations where people have walked away from the table. I'm not
You ain't chasing?
I'm not chasing you.
Look at Nikki Cooper. Nikki Cooper said, "I would have paid them $70 to take me back."
I'm not chasing you. I've had people that really like ran a bill up. And
Now I'm be honest. In college,
I've run.
I'm be honest. In college, it's been some days where
I've done it before.
they took a long time to come back, and
I personally
they
waited.
never came back.
And
they just never came back.
I've done it before.
So it wasn't. We didn't.
But I'm not chasing nobody.
Like, I had classes next day. I had to go, so I left.
I cannot.
I'm not chasing nobody.
Read some of the comments, bro. Donna Wilson is saying what on there?
That's my mom.
Yeah. Oh, come on. She said it's not her business. Write it off.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yep.
I agree.
Candy Carmichael said, "Nope, y'all can have it."
You can have it. I'm not chasing nobody.
Tina Duncan said, "Not her place to go after the owner's money. She's just getting a tip."
Absolutely.
I don't know. I got a little
because if they wasn't giving me a tip anyway, so technically it's not my money.
See, I'm a bit of a vigilante, believe it or not. I actually chased somebody downtown in Philly for stealing out of a store, and I wasn't even working there. I just saw them do it, and guess what I got? All they gave me was a T-shirt.
Exactly. So you played yourself.
So you did all
I
that.
Could have lost my.
Put the blow up. Do the blow up button on that.
Right.
You played yourself.
But you know, but here's the thing. I say that because not.
Greg said, "Got
But no, I say that to say that in those moments, like, imagine her in that moment. Like, she probably didn't process or think she was going to get abducted.
Now, I do know people do get set up. Like, these places do get set up because it happens a lot. Like,
it's happening. It is something that is
depending
happening
on where you are. I remember working at Applebee's, and like the crackheads used to come in, and you have to serve them regardless. Like, you do have to serve them because that's the rules. But they would try to walk out and
try to get you.
Yeah, but in that moment, she was probably just like, and you know, she might have just went out there like, maybe not in a ruckus, but like, "Hey guys, you didn't pay." You know, it might not have been like,
if they kidnapped her and beat her up, she was out there saying some
I don't believe
business.
that. I don't believe that. I think people are crazy, and I think that they
$70?
probably.
So y'all already.
She came out there.
You already
rowdy.
commit a crime.
She came out there rowdy,
and then you kidnap her.
Yeah, kidnapped her. I don't know.
That's too.
They got to stay inside.
What I do know is it's discussions from the day. We're here every
Monday
at
9 p.m.
I think I want to add that to the. I don't know. I feel like singing.
It's
I sang with Kimberell tonight.
Did she correct you?
No, she didn't. She was very kind.
Because you know she will correct you.
She will.
She was very kind.
That's not the note.
We're talking tonight. Relationships. We're continuing with part 2.
Yep.
And tonight is all about your significant other.
It is.
So we want you guys, before we get into this, we want you to share it.
Yep.
On your timeline. And I just want to say too, I think we can all agree. Thank you all for your support.
Yep.
Of discussions from the day. And we're actually, as soon as we get off this show, we're going to be strategizing, having a team meeting, because we want to figure out what we can do during the week to give you guys some more content. So if you have ideas, we want you to follow Discussions from the Den on Facebook. inbox us. Let us know, what ideas you have for the show. And we're on show 6. We're doing 6 shows. I'm sorry, 12 shows.
12.
Yeah, 6.
So we got 6 left. And the last one is going to be live. You're going to be able to attend. So I think maybe by next week, we'll be able to have some of those details for you. Yeah. So let's get into tonight's contest, Lord. Let's get into tonight's topic.
We do need some contest.
We do need some. We're going to bring some of y'all on.
Yeah,
we're going to bring some people on. Yeah. But let's get into it. You want to introduce what we're talking about tonight?
So we're back on the relationship topic. And so we want to talk about, connections and relationships. And so I'm gonna throw this out there, and let me see if you want to be courageous and you want to chat, type in, let us know, and we can send you the link. You come on and chat with us.
Yep.
But I'm gonna put this.
Come on
I'm
here.
gonna put this out here. Producers ready.
Right. Like, oh, okay.
What they send. So we're gonna open with this segment right here. What do you do when the person you're in a relationship with has a problem with who your best friend is?
Yeah. Now, I think we got to also dissect what the issue is, because I think that issue can be insecurity. If it's someone they feel like you may also be attracted to or have something with, or it can also be if maybe they feel disrespected by that person.
Right.
So boundaries versus control, because I know sometimes people it's really not anything. We've been friends for forever.
Right.
This is this person is really important to my life, right? It's like this is it's not that, and so it becomes. But some people if that's your best friend and I'm not comfortable with it, then who's more important, me or them?
Yeah, I've even had to have some of those conversations before, because one of my best friends is Emil, and I've known him since middle school.
Oh wow!
That's my brother.
Yeah.
So that's a non-negotiable. He goes nowhere. So nowhere. So and I've integrated, people to make sure they knew who these people were. But there have been people who, because of their insecurities, was no, I'm not really feeling it. But it was well, if you're not feeling that,
right,
this wouldn't work, because I'm not severing that tie at all.
Yeah. Antoine said something real, bro. Can you put that on the screen?
Yeah, sure.
Antoine just said, we need to understand the issues, and if it's dumb, y'all better learn to respect each other. So I think that speaks to your point, right?
Yeah.
I think the biggest part when it comes to especially having a best friend, it is suspect if your best friend don't know who you dealing with. Right. So you just, this is my best friend, this is my best friend. All right, well, put us all on the phone together. Let's talk about best friend, right? Because if that's your best friend, then it should be an easy conversation. Hey, this is what I'm dealing with.
Right. I've met plenty of his girlfriends, and if I didn't like them, I bullied them.
Wow.
All that stuff happens.
Sabrina Johnson said, "Are we married or just dating?" I think we can approach it from both aspects, but I also think that sometimes what we don't realize is the issue that person may have with them is things that they've been told that you don't know they've been told about you.
I agree.
So girl, you don't pay the bills, or she don't cook, and
so that's
now
when we go into boundaries. What are you saying? What are the discussions that you guys are having?
Right. What do you guys think? Do you think that your significant other, whether dating or married, should have a right to choose who your best friend is or how often you communicate with them? Sabrina Johnson, you want to read that, bro?
Yeah, she says, see, that's why I don't have friends. Can't trust them. I've been burnt by my... Now, see, now that's a different...
She was a friend of mine.
You just feel
she left with my... You don't remember that song? Man!
You want to go lead it.
Sabrina, we're not laughing at that.
I think that is... I think that's the key right now. That's a boundary issue for Sabrina. I don't think that's a control issue because she has experience, right? I think, when you talk about it, it's a, this a control situation.
You have no legitimate reason not to like
so
this
it's
person.
It's like this, I think it depends on what the history is. Yeah. And then again, I think to your point is it's hard to invite somebody into a space. I just said this yesterday preaching. Mm-hmm. It's difficult to invite somebody into a space where you've been talking about them too.
Yeah. And so people can feel that.
Oh no, Sabrina.
What did she say?
Sabrina,
I beat her down and still have Sabrina, not.
Oh no.
Well, sis.
Sabrina, I'll call you. I'll call you later, Sabrina.
Oh no.
Period, poo. Beat it down, beat it up.
That escalated quickly.
Now you can have them.
But here's the thing. Is a lot of times you have to check motives of best friends, right? a lot of times there are best friends who are best friends, but deep down inside they do feel some type of way.
Or
toward you.
Deep down inside, y'all been something else before.
Oh,
and
you in the spirit.
Is just
look at what CC said.
What she said?
Shout out
I
Hoop
don't
City.
think the best friend should be
A previous lover. No, that's right. That's right.
And I think,
or
that's why the dynamic for me was different. Like, ew, never. What?
Yeah.
No.
But did you tell the person you're with that, right? Because then maybe they'll understand the dynamic. Yeah. See, a lot of it comes down to how open and transparent are you being. Like, hey, look, this is my best friend, but at one point, kind of, tried, but it didn't work. I think being transparent in that way. All right, let's see who else we got in here.
How about Gregory? He said you got to keep in mind the source. No one will admit that they are dating or best friend with a jealous person.
Now, I think, and Greg, thanks for sharing that. I think that speaks to the part of control, right? So I think it's a difference in it being a boundary issue or concern as opposed to, no, I'm just jealous and I don't care who it is, right? Yep. I don't care if it's your sister, if it's your, like I think we all know somebody that's like they have an issue with every single person. And it's like, no, this ain't about love. This is control.
Well, it could be control, but it can also be a need for attention. There's also people who don't like to
either
share.
Way, they both gotta go.
I agree.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because that's only going to become more of a problem because I personally believe that every relationship needs balance. Like, even though that's your significant other, you still need other friends and other people that, like we can't be up under each other all the time.
You can feel that energy. Like, I've been integrated into people's friendships and like they have very just rather female or male, and everybody was just really cool and really welcoming. You could tell that it wasn't a lot extras attached to it. So you can kind of feel that energy when those things are actually there when they're not.
You know what's weird too, and then we want to get in that. You guys are commenting, so I told you we knew this would kind of spark up stuff. But what's also weird is when you're dating someone, or say you go to a party, right, and your friend like brings their significant other with them. And they're just like completely standoffish, like they only want to talk to you. Weird. They're sitting up under you. Like, that is just very weird. What do you think that is?
Well, it depends on the person. Like, I'm an introvert, so it takes me time to warm up. So I may sit back and chill out for a while and navigate the space on my own.
Gotcha.
I'm not one that's going to just jump out there and like, I'm not that type of person. I had to like literally scope the scene.
Who's that? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I didn't even know it was my phone.
Let's hear.
Is that him?
No.
I literally.
You can answer it. Go ahead.
Hello. I'm gonna call you. Anyway, but that also made me because I'm an introvert by nature. Like, I had to scope the scene out and feel. I'm not one that's just going to jump. Now I could be very outgoing, but I have to feel comfortable.
So Candy says,
let's get in. Let's get in.
It's true. I need to know the history. Depending on that, it could be uncomfortable. So I think to your point, now you're just an introvert, but I think to your point, there are moments where exes show up and they do know the history, and because of the history, it does make them uncomfortable. I don't know if that necessarily means that the person is jealous, but when people have history and they come back in a space, let's just be real about it, right? There are sometimes still feelings that are there, and if it didn't end right, but didn't really end so bad, it's still like a door that's open. So I think depending on history, it probably.
But here's the other question: is it okay for your significant other to reach out to your exes?
For what?
They may want to know there's a lot of things you find out, like, hey, she's crazy, or she, like, is that part of the research you do before dating someone? Is that okay?
I think that's weird.
I was about to cuss.
No, I think it has 2 points. Yeah, I think it definitely has a little weirdness to it. But if you think about it, how many things could you have dodged had you known? Maybe,
now I'm trying to think, like, would I be okay with it?
Right.
I probably would.
Right.
That's just weird.
But like, why?
Like,
is it weird if you
why is that the ultimate source of like
that's weird, bro?
Yeah. I want y'all to answer that, but we want to get to some of your comments. I want to come back to that because I think there's a couple different perspectives. Let's see.
Rika said, "For what?" That's right. For what?
Now, to that point, now, if we were all happen to be in the same setting and they had a conversation, by all means, go ahead. But to organize a whole interview process,
no, I just I mean,
weird.
Yeah, okay. So like, and I can see both points. I'm not giving my necessary perspective. I'm just trying to give both perspectives of it. But your job does it. and you only there for 8 hours. This person, you're gonna be spending time. Yeah, they reference where you were before. What is your consistencies? What do you?
They just say they
no, I'm just saying, like, think about it. Like, how many things would you like if you knew? You'd be like, oh wow.
Then I'd rather talk to their family. I'm not talking to nobody's ex.
Yeah, I got you. Let's read some more comments.
I'm an introvert, but I'm not standoffish.
Right,
I don't want discomfort, so I naturally just speak. Yeah.
Okay,
so I think that
I go with
I think
the
some
flow.
people are like that.
Don't try to force me.
I think
to
some people like, hey,
yeah.
But then I think it's just some people that's just.
It's just when you're weird, like after like an hour or so, you should at least be laughing at some jokes or like, hey, you should just be like in your phone and just like, oh yeah, I'm good.
Right, like you don't want to be there.
Yeah,
or being deep, scoping people out.
Right,
sitting in the corner being deep.
Yeah,
I know your spirit.
Because no, it just throws off, and this is outside the point. But I can't stand that. Like when you're having a good time, and like one person comes in and you just like you can just tell like, yo, you're killing.
Or it's the polar opposite. They come in and do too much.
Or too much. Right.
Now that's the one that kills me.
Right.
Like now,
listen to Tate.
Loud person, quiet Tate.
Take all of the back.
Now I think that is where a lot of conflict comes.
Yeah.
When people overdo.
You gotta be
like, hey, what's up? Oh, he told me. Oh,
right.
Wow.
Or like commenting, like if it's a conversation between people who are already friends, and you put like, no, you need to like sit back and listen. Like
you just listen.
Yeah.
Sit there.
Antoine said, absolutely not. Don't reach out to my ex unless they are around and you want to know something.
Right. Like that, I think that's genuine conversation if we just happen to be in the same space and y'all having a good dialogue. Yeah. But I'm not setting up the interview for you to talk to any of them.
Yeah. Jocelyn makes a good point. Nope. Because how they are with me can be different from how they were with their ex. Absolutely. So it seems like we're all on the same page with that. Everybody said, CC said no. Oh, Jesus, will not have anything positive to say because sometimes the ex wants to be the now. They still, right?
They can be.
I think some will. That's why I was like, if it just happens to happen, then I wouldn't feel.
And you know, I asked that because if you watch the show, Ready for Love that comes on OWN, they did an episode where they had to bring their ex. Yeah, and they were.
But I wonder if they were strategic in what ex they chose.
Oh,
you get what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm sure.
And those were like relationships where it ended, but they were probably still really solid, like cohesive friends.
Or pick the ex that's probably married now or something.
Yeah.
Right. But like even thinking about some of my exes, while we may still be friends, so they was to have a conversation with somebody else, I wouldn't feel a type of way about that because those things are over. There's nothing lingering there.
Right.
So we can have really good conversations around those things. So I wonder, like, what was their selection process and making sure that happened?
Yeah, like really I know the one girl, she was actually a pastor's wife. She was married, but the ex she brought wasn't that ex. It wasn't her last ex. It was nope.
But the one that was talking to a guy. She was talking to a guy, and he was almost defending her as like a brother.
Oh yeah,
to,
he was like what's the word?
In tears.
No, interrogating.
Yeah, because the dude that she was talking to on the show was really on some BS at that moment.
Gotcha.
But the guy, her ex, was really stepping in almost like a brother relative to like an ex that was checking somebody. Whereas like this doesn't work.
So I think so we're talking about exes, right? So let me ask this: should your significant other be able to be friends with your ex?
With their ex or with your ex?
With your ex.
Yikes! Oh God, we don't have the button for the.
No,
I'm asking.
I'm not even close friends and talking all over. What y'all need to be besties for?
I'm just saying, maybe I don't know.
Wow.
Greg on the road and then he gonna say a relationship resume.
Everyone's with you. They saying no, heck no.
Your ex could have been the problem. Okay.
No.
I'm not choosing Sabrina.
I think that's just a boundary type thing.
Yeah. No. That kind of goes with that whole kind of code in regards to dating someone who maybe was talking to one of your friends or something like that. No. Even if you're done with them and you're like, I'm not even attracted to them, I'm not interested. It's
what are y'all best friends for?
No, I'm talking about like dating.
Like, yeah.
Oh, because I'm suffering.
My God. You want to go a little further, bro? You got more questions?
Yeah. So, all right. So let's go here because
Corey said that happened on Insecure too. It was weird.
Yo, I love Rika. She said never. So let me ask this. So when we talk about relationships, right, and children are a big part of relationships.
Certainly.
So we don't have a lot of people that are like meeting and don't have kids. We have some, but that's not really the time in which we live. Do children have a say-so in who you date?
I think that, you know, I'm going back years, but, you know, being that I saw my mother, you know, date and, you know, saw when she dated my stepdad, saw when she dated people before that. I don't ever feel like I had a say, but I definitely struggled with accepting it. I definitely had literally aggressively just was not okay with it. And I think that was for a lot of reasons. It was because it's like, that's my mom, you know, and then of course wanting my parents to be together. So I did struggle with that. And, you know, looking back, it was really something. Like it wasn't easy. And so I think that can have an effect on a relationship. You know, I think, and when I say on the relationship, I mean how, you know, the two feel about each other. You know, one thing I can say, shout out to my sister, I'm sure she wouldn't mind, but her fiance, Jeremy, I'm saying fiance because I believe they're going to be married soon. He's speaking into existence because I love him. He's great, but he's amazing with my nephew. My nephew loves him. He's amazing with him. And that just kind of happened. But, you know, do you have that conversation? Like, hey, this is
important.
Yeah.
I do think it's important when you have children. You want them to feel safe around a person. You want them to feel included.
Sure.
Because then it becomes a blended family if this thing becomes serious, right? So I think you have to take into account of how they interact with them, how they engage with them. I don't know if children will necessarily have the capacity to say what it is that they like or don't like about the person all of the time. But I think you need to really pay attention to the interactions and how that works when it comes to blending, right?
Yeah, that's what Tate actually said earlier. She said children can see a lot of things that you may not see. First of all, I just have to go back because we need to have Sabrina as a guest.
Sabrina is on. And I was going to let it go. Sabrina is on.
No.
You the life of the party.
My God, what the Lifetime story is going on?
He tried to kill. Sorry, Coach.
I love Sabrina. Is that the one that dances down the aisle?
Yes,
I love Sabrina.
Yes,
Sabrina, I love you. I love you.
She did it yesterday.
I love you. I love you. You got something to dance about. I love you. Yes, they do, but to an extent, I agree. Jocelyn says, "Stay out of mommy's business."
I think for me, because I did experience my mom dating two men. One passed, and then my stepfather.
Yeah.
But my mom told me early on, like, I'm not getting married again until you and your brother are much older.
Okay.
And things are in a different space.
So it's different.
You know what I mean? So it was definitely different for me, but I felt protected because she knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah. Spring said children's opinions are definitely important. I think it's true because that child is going to be a part of that dynamic to some extent. You know, you can't, I don't they feel like you can really date someone and just keep your children as
you cannot exclude them.
I think and I think having that, I think that's part of the research that you kind of have to do even in the dating, because it's like, although you may like that person for you, how are they with children?
To deal with your children?
And what do you do in that case?
And you're a package deal.
Right? So they're good to me, right? And they're good relationship wise, but they're not. And again, when I say not good with children, some people, it's not even that they're not a children person, they're just not used to dealing with children. Right. So how do you deal with that dynamic? And I think that leads to kind of the other question: is your significant other able to discipline your child?
So, so before we get there, I think the key point is, like somebody said earlier, trust your kids' instincts.
Right.
I think you'll be able to tell from your child what kind of vibe. Kids are just very sensitive to like really hidden agendas. Kids are just like really like, oh, you're just being mean. No, you might want to pay attention to why they're so standoffish. Right. Because it could be something coming down the road that you can't see, that a kid can feel. Like kids.
Well, here's the thing: they're seeing beyond the attraction, because sometimes attraction can blind us. Yeah. So we'll try to make somebody, you know, something they're not. And also the mindset of a person in general is there is a portion of rebellion. So it's almost like the more that someone says they don't like someone, the more you're convinced to make them like
Which is why a lot of people stay out of it when people ask. Because it's like, if I say don't, you're going to.
Right.
So I'll just rather say, hey, if you're happy, then we're going to go with that.
Yeah. Tamara says, as a mother, I value my children's opinion, but it takes time before you should allow people to meet your kids. Totally agree with that. And everyone should not meet your children.
I definitely think some kids are met by people that people are interested in way too soon.
Yeah, that's a privilege.
Way
you
too soon.
Get to somebody's children.
Like when you meet the child, you should be like, okay,
it should be a
there's significant light of, okay, this is a real situation.
Right. I mean, that's how I feel. I feel like I again, I try to be somewhat transparent on the show. I felt like I met too many, so I had already formed opinions. Because to be honest, this is actually the first time I've ever said this on a public platform. And I don't mind saying it because it's part of my truth, is that there was a season where I saw my mother be abused. So when I saw when I saw some of those personality traits, although it never happened again, it triggered something for me. So I think, I definitely think it's important to, have that conversation. What are you feeling? How do you feel? And do you allow them to spend time bonding with your child, right? So do they take them to the, that's what my stepdad did when he first met me. Like, he was like, hey, well, let's go to the mall. Let's, we did things together outside of it just always being a unit, which I thought was admirable.
Yeah, and even my stepdad and my mom are no longer together, but I still consider him my stepdad. So because he's been around so long, we have a solid relationship. So yes, of course, they had to go through their processing, but our relationship never changed. In that dynamic, I may not see him and talk to him as much as I always did when they were living together, but that's still my stepfather. So when in doubt, I know I can call him if I need him.
And I think every situation is different, because with my stepfather, it was easier to accept him because my mom had finally gotten what I felt she deserved.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh wow.
So the way
he,
so the way he treated her, it was way easier for him because you could feel the genuineness in his heart. And we joke about it, but I told her, I said, you decide to marry her, you must really love her.
Wow.
Love you, Mother Wilson.
Spring says, absolutely not. Discipline is left up to the parent only. I'll share, even personally about that in a minute. Rika says, shout out in the Bahamas. Rika says, sounds a lot like me. Tell me not to do something, and all of a sudden, that's my favorite thing to do. Don't read your Bible, Rika.
I love Rika.
Don't pray. Rika is one of my spiritual daughters. She's amazing. Shout out to her in the Bahamas. I love you so much. Sabrina said, absolutely. Cece said, not too soon. Let's see who else we got in here. Sabrina said, yes, we need to bring you on there. So I think that discipline part is essential. I was definitely disciplined by my stepfather, verbally and physically, which for me did cause some tension between us. I did definitely feel some type of way about it. It never came from a place of just to do it. It was because, I was acting out. And a lot of my acting out was based upon, and here's the other thing I think we have to talk about is in that dynamic, understanding why that child is acting that way.
Yeah.
Because when you've had your parent to yourself, and then now, here comes someone in, it shows in a lot of different ways, right? So what does that look like? But yeah, what are your thoughts on the discipline part?
I think for me, I'm gonna be honest, my daughter is a no-go. Now, I'm not raising her to be disrespectful to anybody, right? So if her mother gets married or something, then that's a conversation, I'm having. Like my expectation is that she respects you, but don't ever put your hands on my child.
You know what's crazy?
So her mother can deal with her, or your mother can call me and I can deal with her. But don't put your hands on my child.
Yeah. That's interesting. Well, yeah. But you know what's so interesting about that? I feel like real free tonight. I'm saying a lot of stuff.
You helping somebody.
But you know why? Honestly, I told y'all that in the beginning show. Like, I'm so good right now and who I'm, like, I don't mind. Like, I am free of it. So it's not like I don't feel like, oh my God, unstable or anything like that. But my stepfather was actually the only man in my life who has ever hit me. I've never been beaten by my father. My grandfathers, my uncles. So it is different, But I get it. But looking back,
Wilson, she hit me.
My mom did, but never my dad never did. My grandfathers, my uncles.
Like he probably popped me, but
I had flashbacks when I said hit.
Yeah, like he had forms of discipline, but my father never put his hands on me. So what? No.
Yeah, gotcha.
Absolutely not.
Mary said, absolutely no physical discipline. Do not touch somebody's child. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and I agree. I think also, like, if that is your spouse, they deserve a level of respect.
Yeah.
Right? So so it can't be, don't touch my child, and then your child smacking their lips and saying whatever they want too, because then that's not fair to the person. So I think it's a level of respect. Like, no, don't touch my child. However,
What does that
do
discipline
have
look like?
an expectation, for what like for me, I don't need to beat my daughter. I can look at her and tears is going to come because she knows like I'm disappointed, right? So I think it's a matter of like how children are raised. But then if the line is drawn, it's like you can't touch my child, then your child needs to be respectful to that person because then it's not fair.
We said we weren't going to go here, but I'm gonna lead it in this way. What do you do in a situation? We're going to switch to 10 minutes. Wow, show went fast tonight. Let's
Right.
Yeah, we got 10 minutes left. So we were going to talk about gender roles, right, in regards to like paying for bills and different things like that. But here's the question we're going to pose, right? So let's pose it this way. You're in the relationship and your significant other loses their job, something happens financially, and they say, hey, I need to move in for a little bit. I don't have anywhere to go. What do you do?
Man,
now y'all, you know what kills me about these two? Let me get my preacher mic right. Turn me up in the monitors, because they had so much to say.
No. Because I'll be transparent. I've done that before, like where I've allowed somebody to move in that I was with. Probably the biggest mistake I could have ever made. Only because in that relationship it wasn't solid beforehand. But because I'm a very all-in person, I'm a very loyal person, and I'm a giving person, it's like, sure, why not? Would I have done that knowing what I know now? No, absolutely.
And let me just be clear, because again, and I said this before, that because we are pastors, we never want to create a picture that becomes ambiguous into how we feel about it. Now, I personally do not believe in moving in before marriage. I don't. But I do feel that I would never want to see anyone be out.
So I think
so the boundaries.
And I think that's what it was for me.
Go with it.
Yeah.
But I think that's exactly what it was for me. Like, not only him being in a struggle space, but he was also a father who was an active parent and always had his daughter. So the fact that he could not have a safe space for them either was something that also struck a nerve for me. So I think it was bigger than just him not having a job or not having this. I think I was looking at it from a larger picture. I still probably would have said no if I know that.
But I think the clarity of the conversation, because I agree with you, right? I don't want this to become ambiguous.
Yeah.
So it's like, two pastors saying you can just live with
right.
The clarity of the question was if they lost their job, they're down, right? So this is somebody that works. This is somebody that had their own. And because of whatever situation that has been snatched away, I think it's something to, because I don't believe in people living with each other before they're married either. I just think it's a recipe for.
But it's a conversation you have to have. Like, hey, we are roommates, right? Like, you're here, but you're going to get back on your feet. Like, we're not going to pretend like this is just what it's going to be.
So I think the heart of us says yes, because I always think from this perspective. If it was me, I would want somebody to help me.
Right.
But I believe there needs to be a distinct time frame. So you're coming here. I'm giving you X amount of months to get back on your feet.
I did that.
I'm
trying to think, like, how did I navigate
because also you don't want the person to become comfortable, right?
Yeah.
And so now it's like, I'm here. Oh, so T cooks, she cleans.
And that, and I think I even was still hesitant because I'm real sensitive about my space, and my apartment is really meant for me. So I had to consider, like, okay, what does this look like? And I don't even think it was a financial thing. I think it was something that was wrong with where they were living. That wasn't necessarily safe for the girls or whatever, but it was a time frame, and I'm like, okay, but you got to give me this. Like, these things have to happen.
So Antoine said something interesting. He said, "I've done it before, but now my question is, how much is in your savings?" Right. So I think again, it's like time frame. It's like plan. Like, what are you doing now? If this is a situation where you moving in, maybe you get a ring and you say, "Now I want to get married now that I'm here." Right. But if that's not the situation, like, you're just not going to sit here. Like, you got to.
What's the plan? Like, I need to see something in writing. I'm talking about we're going to get it notarized. Like, we're going to have, because the thing too is you got to realize that there's actually in some states where after a person has been in your residence for a certain time, they have rights. So now you're like, you can't even really get them out.
What state is that?
There's a couple. Yeah, I can't.
Here too.
Is it here?
Yeah.
Yeah, like after a certain time of living there, that like becomes their residence. Like,
so I just want to tell everybody out there, if you lose your job, you can't come live with me.
It's kind of right.
yeah, yeah. So it's not
They
even like
stay
you
in a
can be.
space and not pay anything, but
Yep.
because they've been there for a significant amount of
Yep.
time, you cannot just kick them out.
Mother English said, happened to me. I got husband number 2.
We love mother here.
Oh my
But yeah, like, what do you do in that? Now, I do want to get into this. Maybe we'll give you like a little extra 5 minutes. Is that all right with our executive producer? I mean, when I tell you she on her job, she like, yo, got
She been
10
on 5
minutes.
Time
2
frame.
minutes.
Let's
30
go.
seconds.
On the
And look,
clock.
sitting in a got a director's
Yeah.
chair set up.
Same
We
time.
love Shireen Tate here. So the other thing is, and my brother said that this was low level, but it's something you got to talk about, right? Is now, what do you do when you go out to eat? Is it check splitting? Is it now you got this? Is it we get every other one? Like, what is that? What does that look like?
So I think it depends on the person. So I can only speak for me. For me, if you out with me,
Oh
then
yeah,
I'm going to take care of it.
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
That's just me.
Absolutely.
Now there's some people that's like, I don't really like. If I'm with you, I'm with you. But we in this together, so it's 50-50.
Right.
I understand that as well,
Yeah.
right? So I don't think a man is cheap because he's telling the woman he's going to split the check. You know,
Or
what I
if
mean?
there's a moment where she takes the check.
Right.
I think it just really depends on the dynamic of the relationship.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Because I know some people are dead set on like, there's people, and I to a degree, depending on who I'm with, I am this way. But there's also people who feel like even if you go out with friends, like, nah, we're not splitting checks. Like, either one of us just gonna get the whole thing.
No,
or,
when I'm out with friends, I mean, if I feel like taking care of the whole thing, I'm taking. Now, what I don't like is when people do the penny pinching and be trying to.
I only had a
check.
water.
That I cannot
Mine was 12.
Wait a minute.
That I cannot.
I didn't have
do.
anything
Like,
else.
So with me and my friends, we're very clear about. That's why I don't like inviting new people out when we go out because like that's just how we are. I'm actually not looking at the receipt at all.
Well, here's the thing. Now I will say this. I don't drink. Like, I'm just not a drinker. I don't drink. But Lord have mercy. I don't. I don't at all. I never have. But if we go out to eat, like, but I do have friends who do, and I'm not, even as a pastor, I'm not. If that's what you do, that's not my preference. Not what I do. But if we're out and you decide you're gonna have it, but I'm not gonna split a $200 check for when I.
But see, stuff like that to me is understandable. Like a person that does not drink, I'm not gonna have you pay for my drinks. That's so disrespectful.
Yeah.
But if we are
If it's
at
my
a
birthday,
restaurant, what?
if it's my birthday,
If it's your birthday.
Now that's different. I mean, but
because that's what I'm saying. Like if
it's your
a
birthday,
special
you're not
occasion-
did you
paying at
invite
all.
us out?
Huh?
Did you invite us out?
If it's your birthday, you're not
Okay.
paying at all.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't have to pay
But
at
what
all.
I'm saying, you said if you don't drink,
We're just talking about like just going out.
Yeah, but like if we run up, okay, if it's your birthday, right, and we all go out,
Right.
and
You don't
I'm just
pay.
like, oh, let me have a Shirley Temple, let me have a root beer, and then the check comes and it's like $4.50, and it's like, okay, we're gonna split this. I'm like, wait, whoa.
I
only had a Diet Coke.
And
that
I'll
comes
pay.
with-
I'll pay for your dinner,
Right.
but
Gotcha.
I'm not gonna pay for drinks that I did
But
not
that
ask.
also comes with people being considerate too. Like when me and my girlfriends go out, we're very clear. Like everybody's going to have a drink or two. Everybody's going to eat. I'm not looking at the bill. We're splitting the bill. Don't bring in somebody new that only got really $20 in their account. Don't come out with us. Like that's just it.
I think it's interesting. I'm gonna get to Phoenix comment, but can we go back to I think it was Jonathan. She said, I can see it. She said, my husband and I take turns
here we
for
go.
date nights and
Yeah.
family date nights. Now see,
That makes
I
sense to
think
me.
right.
Like
so
that.
it's like to be because I think the stereotype is a man should pay all the time.
Yeah, I don't think that's
but
true.
like, where do we give women space to? Now, there's some women that's just going to let you pay every time, right?
right.
But what about the women that is like, hey,
No,
this
I got
is
it.
my guy.
I just
I
think-
want to do something for him.
No, I agree. I think across the board, I think whether relationship, whether friends, I think when you go out to eat, you should always have enough to cover. Now, I ain't paying for nobody's
That's
drinks,
I think Phoenix had something up. He said, from an LGBTQ perspective, for me and mine, whoever plans the outing picks up the tab, but both of us always money wise ready. Okay,
Mhm.
either way,
Right.
yeah.
yeah. Either way,
think
I think you should always be prepared. Like
Yeah.
it should be like, oh, I only brought.
Right.
Like what?
Rika said, bro, I literally just had water.
Like, dang, that's some.
But I think
Yeah.
you made a really valid point in being considerate about that. For me, I'm not going to expect you to
Yeah,
pay
yeah.
all of that when we just had a bunch of drinks. Like,
Oh,
that's just
wait.
disrespectful.
No,
Okay.
I agree.
He's stirring the pot.
Where we at?
What does the key? He said partnership, sharing. Sometimes he can pay, and I tip maybe. It's not a general.
Okay.
I agree.
I've
with
done that.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a good conversation.
If you
I'm
pay,
glad
don't worry
actually
about
know
tipping them. I'll
Uncle
tip
Cam
them.
said he not paying for
that. I'm not paying for nobody. Nope. I'm telling you, no, honestly, because that happened. Like we went out to eat, and I was like,
because
yo,
that'll run a bill
like-
up. That'll run a bill up.
yeah, that joint was like almost
Alcohol's
$300.
tax.
Like,
Alcohol's tax.
yeah.
That'll run a bill up.
All right, it's discussions from the den. We're here every
Monday.
act. I'm sorry.
Y'all, real
That's
quick, we had a conversation about this.
we talked about this.
I said, this is what you have to do. This is how we started. This
I'm
is how you
sorry.
roll.
I'm
So
sorry. We're
whenever
here
he does
every
that-
Monday.
Look.
Jesus Christ.
Look.
We're here every
Monday.
at.
9. Yeah. Yo, this has been happening at the end for this like
We're gonna do
solid
better.
3
We're gonna do better.
episodes.
We're gonna do better. Look, we got some good topics coming up for you guys. If you have some things you want us to talk about, or you want to maybe be a guest on the show, Facebook discussions from the den. Send us an inbox message, and yeah, I think we out for the night. What else you got going on this week? Anything?
No, man, I had nothing. I want to everybody send a prayer up for Elder Kendra. She is burying her
Yes.
grandmother
Yes.
on Wednesday.
Yes,
Kendra
we
is
love
a
Kendra
faithful
here.
Member. To KDT, she loves Pastor Cam. Like she
Love
literally
Kendra.
supports everybody.
She does.
Her grandmother was special to her, so she's putting her grandmother
Condolences.
in the ground on Wednesday. So we want to be praying for her.
What you got coming
Nothing's
up?
happening for me this
Nothing
week.
big.
No.
Yeah, I'm just finishing renovations here on the studio, planning some
Amazing
things.
job too,
And
man.
we're gonna thank you, bro.
You're
Thank
doing
you, bro.
amazing
Thank you, bro. We're
Yeah.
trying to open back up so we can have some events. What many don't know is that I'm turning part of the studio into a store. So we're gonna have some products and things that people can come and shop during the week. So we're working on a couple of little things here and there. We got Holy Convocation coming
We
soon,
got
bro.
Holy Convocation
Yeah.
Thursday, October 14th through Saturday,
That's gonna
October
be it right
16th
there.
in Wilmington, Delaware. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
Y'all
You
better-
want to be there.
Listen, hotel information is coming out. This is what I suggest.
Mhm.
I suggest, for the sake of you really enjoying
Oh yeah,
Convocation,
stay.
I want you to stay, but I want you to team up with somebody
Certainly.
so it's not so expensive.
Certainly.
Really enjoy yourself. But we haven't had this kind of camaraderie together.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
so
This is
Hope
gonna be a
City
different type of
and-
glory.
Kingdom Deliverance Tabernacle alone,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yep.
outside of who
Yep.
everyone that's coming to share with us,
Certainly. It's
those
gonna
two
be church.
churches alone, it's going to be bananas. I
It's-
cannot
it's-
wait.
I cannot wait.
I
I'm super
cannot
excited.
wait, bro.
And I want to say this before we go, because I think this is a great dynamic of this show, is that for us as leaders to be able to have a show with this platform,
Yep.
but also still be honorable in the role as
Okay.
pastors,
Yeah,
right? I think
absolutely.
we've balanced that tremendously, and I
Absolutely.
think that's what people need.
Yeah.
And so we thank you guys for riding with us and for having the ability to honor us in a space like this, but still as pastors,
Yep.
right? And so I think that's commendable. So we love you guys.
Love
we
you.
appreciate you, and we'll see you next week.
Next week.
Discussion from the day.
Peace.
Be good.